Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 38 of the San Marino Challenge. Now, as you can tell by today's episode's title, the board have indeed given us a new stadium. However, at the moment, it is still in the planning stage. As you can see, they're still searching for the site, and the planned capacity is 15,330 seated attendance. So, honestly, I think that's pretty good. I was talking about it in the last episode at the end of the season, and I wanted to hold off for maybe another season, as I think our reputation might have gone up a little bit more playing in the Europa League and stuff like that. But 15,000, in terms of how many people are actually in San Marino, is somewhat massive. It's, as you can see, it's pretty much 3 times our current stadium as well. However, they're looking for a site. You know, it's not 100% happening. Maybe it is, but I think I've seen people have issues where the stadium is in planning, or in the searching for a site plan or stage, and then it, for some reason, disappears because they can't find a site or for whatever reason. But yeah, we are 3-star reputation, which I think is pretty good. And I think that's probably the reason why the board did what they did. Another thing worth noting is our attendance. Like, we basically sold out every home game last season. So that's another reason as to why. Now, if we look at the finances here before we get into the transfers, as you can see, we did lose quite a bit of money going into the season. So basically, we got taxed a hell of a lot of money. And we also paid out like quite a few million to the shareholders and the board members and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of weird and pretty annoying. However, if you look at our projection, it does look very, very healthy still. Basically 43 million by the end of this season, and then we're basically making about 20 million per season. Obviously, a new stadium is going to cost quite a bit of money, especially a 15,000 seater. I think that we might have to get a loan out for that one, which would be a little bit unfortunate. But then again, you have to think about the offset that is going to come with, 3 times the attendance and better match day income. So it's interesting. Like I said, I wish it happened maybe one more season in the future, but it is what it is, and it's happened now. So we'll just have to wait and see. I will keep you updated with the stadium and what sort of happens as we go on through this season. Possibly, nothing might even happen. So, yeah. Let's get into the transfers. We have done quite a bit of activity, to be honest. The only out was Falbo, and he went out on loan to Pordenone. Of course, one of the teams we're pretty familiar with from Serie B. They actually beat us both times we versed them in Serie B. So, yeah, he went out on loan to them. Pretty much just wasn't going to play. I mean, he's behind Forte, behind Barossi. We also got a new striker in that can play left midfield. So, yeah, I just thought that getting him some playing time, he's only on rotation at Pordenone, but it sort of gets him away, and that's one less headache, to have to deal with. Now, the players we brought in, first of which was Nationality, 25-year-old Dutchman. He's a pretty solid winger. We signed him on a free transfer. As you can see, really good pace, and I mean, he's got the attributes that you want for a winger. Good technique, first touch, dribbling, and crossing, of course. 6k a week, so he's a little bit steep, but I do think he's an upgrade on Bashini. So yeah, we also signed another right winger, so we'll get into him in a little bit. In a little bit of time. But yeah, the next player brought in was Sibanda. He was brought in from Sundowns in South Africa for 475k. As you can see, he's a pretty solid midfielder, only 19 years old. Got 14 caps for the Zimbabwe national team. And as you can see, 3.5-star potential. Again, cheap wages, cheap transfer. Honestly, I see him doing pretty well at the club. Hopefully he can develop a little bit more, but as you can see, he does have some pretty good attributes, albeit lacking a little bit of attacking stats when it comes to being a box-to-box midfielder. Probably suits the deep line playmaker role a bit more, as you can see. If we go defend there. Probably suits that a little bit more, but we'll just play him at centre mid and we'll see how he goes. The next player brought in was Mantovina from Rijeka. 16-year-old Croatian goalkeeper. Very good potential on him. 80,000 transfer fee, 80k, so that's really low. As you can see, either footed as well. Basically, a potential goalkeeper for the future. As you can see, he plays sweeper keeper really well. And yeah, lacking a little bit of positioning, but overall, absolute bargain. Probably sell him for 5 million down the track, regardless, even if he doesn't become our first team goalkeeper. The next player brought in was Gianciglio Zaya, from AC Milan for free. Basically, just a right back. He looks pretty good. He's only 19. The scouts don't really rate him as well. But I think just getting him into the club as a possible backup, we do have Meneghini, but I think Menegini's contract does run out, and he's sort of the third choice at the moment. There were actually offers coming in for Conforti, our starting right back. A lot of basically the offers came in on deadline day, and I tried to get about 5 million plus 30% of next sale, and we just ran out of time. So I was basically about to sell him, but yeah, we keep him. We move on nonetheless. It's all good. We got him in for free, so I see it as a win-win deal. The next player brought in was Vitek from Bayern Munich for 3 million, so pretty cheap. And as you can see, he looks pretty goddamn good. 19-year-old German. Yeah, I mean, what can I say about him? 4-star potential, 3-star current ability at 19. And overall, he just looks above and beyond the type of player that we've had recently. I mean, if you compare him to Bashini, we'll do that now. Compare him with Bashini. As you can see, he's just a little bit superior in basically every way, except for speed, which is slightly lower. As you can see, the physicals are all better. Most of the mentals are better, and of course, the technicals are quite a lot better, apart from heading. So yeah, he was brought in from Bayern Munich, their reserve team, as he was playing down there for them. The next player brought in was Cizek, probably Cizek, from the Czech Republic. He was brought in for 775,000. I'm pretty sure that was his release clause from Sparta Prague. Basically, similar type of player to Sabanda, just a centre midfielder, lacking a little bit of attacking prowess for a box-to-box midfielder. But I think he's just, he's going to be a really solid player, and at 20 years old, I think he's going to stick around hopefully for a little while and do some good for the club. Now, the next player brought in, I'm pretty happy with. Ante Petrovic. 17-year-old Croatian, and this guy looks really, really good. As you can see, 2-star current ability, 4-star potential. I mean, he looks like a solid box-to-box midfielder, and as you can see, all of his attributes are increasing at a pretty nice rate. He is currently in the under-20s, and that is purely for the fact that I did, in fact, bring Thiago Ribeiro back to the club on loan, which we'll go over in a second. But yeah, 450,000 release clause on him. Super happy with that transfer. And I think he'll have a big, big future at the club. Now, the next player brought in was the other sort of big signing. Another German player, Canpolat. He does have Turkish heritage, so I believe Mustafa Canpolat is how you say his name. I think the C is more of a ch sound. So yeah, 20-year-old German/Turkish striker. It was actually hard to bring him in, but we got him for 3.5 million, which I think is very, very cheap. He's a wonder kid, as you can see over there. Left-footed, really good pace, lacking a little bit of jumping and strength. But then you look at his other stats. The 10 passing, obviously not great for a deep lying forward. But overall, I mean, I think he's just above and beyond the type of striker that we've had at the club recently. He's also got 10 caps for the German under-21s team. And honestly, I'm super happy about this guy. The only real downside to me signing him, he also has a release clause of 23 million, which is, it's decent. But this clause here, highest match earner. So basically, if I bring anyone else into the club, his wages get automatically matched to their wages, which is, it's a bit of a con, and it's slightly pissed me off. But I had to give it to him to get him into the club. He's also on 13,000 per week, which is obviously the highest earning player at the club. Now, the next player brought in was Loic Mbeso from PSG on loan. Very, very solid centre-back, 23-year-old Frenchman. Again, 14 caps for the under-21s. And basically, he just looks like a solid defensive rock. Can play the ball-playing defender role very well. And really happy to get him into the club. As you can see, we're only paying half of his wages, which is a nice little, caveat to the whole loan signing. The next two players brought in were both academy prospects from America. Todorov, they're both strikers. 18-year-old Bosnian, and then we got Sedef, who is an 18-year-old Turkish player. I did think that Turkey was an EU club, but apparently they're not. And unfortunately, that counts as a non-EU player. However, he can't be registered, as you can see there. So I might let him go because that's not really what I was looking for with those deals. I kind of wanted to get those guys in from those academy teams on a free transfer and then try and develop them a little bit and maybe sell them on in the future. But that's not really working. And of course, Thiago Ribeiro, as I mentioned, 0 wages paid. Absolutely ecstatic to have him back at the club. I did want to sign him on a permanent deal, but they wanted about 5 million for him. And I think for 5 million, I can get a little bit more in terms of, the quality of player. We might still purchase him. I mean, we got him back at the club for the whole season, so I'm very happy with that. Now, let's have a quick little look at the preseason fixtures. As you can see, we did not lose in preseason, which is, it's pretty dominant. We started off with a 3-1 victory over Lazio. We then managed to beat Feyenoord 3-0. We then beat Celtic 2-0. And then we could only manage a draw against Bordeaux 2-2. We then versed today's opponents, Spal, and beat them 3-1 away from home. The next game, we absolutely smashed AC Milan 4-0. We also had a player sent off in Barossi. So, yeah, pretty crazy to at least keep a clean sheet there, although they were playing a very rotated squad. We then managed to beat Schalke 3-0, and the final friendly game was a 4-0 victory over Città di Pontedera. So yeah, as you can see, very good preseason, of course. We managed to beat today's opponents, Spal, during preseason. So I'm looking for a win here today to start our season off right. Another thing worth mentioning before we get into today's game. The Europa League group stage draw has not been drawn yet, but I do think that for the next episode, I would like to do this game right here in the Europa League group stage. I don't know who it's going to be against. It might be against, somewhat of a lesser known team or a nobody. But it's, it'll be the first game or the first European game that San Marino will be involved in. And I think it's a bit of it's a credit to the series, I think. And I'm going to be happy to show you guys that. Anyways, we'll get into today's lineup. Of course, it's somewhat changed. I mean, a lot of the players from last season have now either moved on or they are sort of in a bench role. Starting in goals, we're going to go with Ingvarsson. Right back, we got Conforti. Mbeso will join Scarby in the centre of our defence. And then we're going to go with Gilles as our left back. Now, it's worth mentioning Gilles. I mean, his attributes are all decreasing at the moment. But I was very, very tempted to make him the captain of the team. And the only reason I didn't is because of his age. He's only 18. He's got 15 leadership and 11 teamwork, which is exactly what you sort of want in a captain. The current captain is Ambro, who I believe only has 11. Yeah, 11-11 for those two stats. So, yeah, the vice-captain is Toscano, who has 11 leadership and 13 teamwork. So, Toscano is probably a bit of a better option. He, of course, plays pretty much every game as well. So maybe I should have changed that. But honestly, I just didn't want to really disrupt the team too much. So yeah, maybe next season Gilles might be our captain. We will just have to wait and see. But yeah, he starts at left back today. Of course, Toscano, as I just mentioned, will be starting as the defensive midfielder. We're going to go with Che Nunnally in the right back, in the right wing position. Forte as our left winger, and then we're going to go with Ribeiro and Sabanda in the center of our midfield. Worth noting that Cizek is actually out injured. Now, he was injured when he came to the club. He was out for 4 months, so I mean, he could possibly be out for another 2 months, which would be really annoying. And another thing to mention, Vitek. So he picked up a pretty bad injury for 5 weeks as soon as preseason started. Then he came back for 1 game and then picked up a knock in that game. So he's been out for 2 weeks, just sort of getting back to fitness now. And I'm super happy we got him in as well. For $3 million from Bayern Munich. I think that's an absolute steal. But yeah, Che Nunnally will start today. As he's not really fit. He doesn't have the condition. So yeah, up front, we're going to go with Mustafa Chanpalat. I think he's got a lot of goals in him, and that was sort of the position that I really wanted to strengthen. Of course, he's still... I mean, he might have a little bit of potential left, but he is a wonder kid, so we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. The bench today is going to be Cesar Pavoni, Ermacora, Manafo, Ambro, Vitek, Foliados, Tomiasello, Carlos Antonio, and Barossi. Now, I really, really want a big win here today. Just to get the season off, on a good note. That's what we really want. I'm going to tell the boys I expect the win. Let's go. We are away from home, which is a little bit worrying, but again, I do expect us to beat Spal. We beat them away from home in preseason. Let's try and... I would love to repeat that. A 3-1 victory would be a pretty decent opening day to the season. Forte now. Champlat. Ooh, good save. Nunnally. Again, that looked pretty dangerous. I mean, Champlat probably should have scored there. And Sabandas, he's picked up his first official yellow card. We'll let this highlight play out for a second. Conforti. Sabanda. Toscano. Moving the ball really nicely. Gilles. Plays it back to Toscano. Gilles, Toscano. Sabanda now. I mean, we're keeping possession, but we're going backwards, which is frustrating. Conforti. Nunnally, can he put a cross in? Chanpalat gets in there. First goal, first official game, and of course, the assist came from Nunnally as well. Good stuff. All right, so very quickly, we're going to quickly tell Sabanda to ease off the tackles. We don't want him picking up a red card in his first game. That'd be pretty bad. We do have the lead, although they almost scored off that free kick. That was very close. And now Champalat's picked up a yellow card as well. Alright, come on, boys. Let's hold out to halftime. Don't want to concede any goals. Alright, we look like we're going to hold the lead into the break here. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright. Basically just going to tell them I'm happy. I mean, we're 1-0 up. I mean, I'll take the 1-0 victory. Like I said, I just want to win and set us off, on the right path this season. Berenguer, and he scores. Yeah, that was really bad defending from Conforti there. I mean, there wasn't a lot he could do, but he headed the ball straight out to their player. Didn't really clear his lines, and now he's picked up a yellow card as well. And so has Toscano, so that's great. We'll tell them both to ease off, I guess. Alright, come on, boys. 2 yellow cards in like 1 minute. Alright, we're gonna make some subs. There are a few players out there looking to use Sabanda. Actually, Ribeiro is playing worse than Sabanda. He also just picked up a yellow card, so we'll take him off. Yeah, I don't know. Gilles, Scarby. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for a triple change. We're going to get some of the really bad performers off. Get Ermacora and Cesar on. Forte's picked up a yellow card. We're picking up way too many yellow cards right now. It's kind of scary. Come on, boys. Alright, I'm going to tell them to push forward at about 80 minutes. We'll see this highlight first. Does look like it might be for them. As Spal bring the ball forward. Oh, that's a good save. That is a good save by Ingvarsen. That ball was curling pretty nicely. And that's a free kick to us, so I'm going to tell them to push forward now. Come on, boys, let's go. Grab a late goal. I mean, half of them are frustrated by me saying that. Still 4 minutes of stoppage time left. And Speller bringing the ball forward once again. Oh, there's space. Berenguer once again on the score sheet, man. Where is the defending? Where is the defending? And we're going to lose. Wow. I feel like that's really harsh. To lose in the 91st minute once again. Like, how often does that happen? Oh, man, that's so frustrating. I really... Like, we started off so well. We got the lead, and then we just crumbled. Yeah, that's really, really frustrating. I mean, good to see Chan Palat on the score sheet, but... Yeah, it definitely was a disappointing collapse. How good is this guy? Yeah, I don't see it. He's not that good. He's really not that good. And he scores 2 goals against me. Yeah, I don't get it, guys. It's a tough result to take. I'm a little bit disappointed because I really wanted to, kick our Serie A season off properly. But yeah, we had 3 debutants in the match. That might have a little bit to do with, maybe the players aren't gelling well enough, although they've kind of had all preseason to do that anyway. So yeah, I mean, not the start we wanted to this season, but I'm sure it's going to get a bit better. I think we've definitely strengthened quite a bit since last season. And Vitek on the right wing will hopefully be feeding a lot of goals into Chan Palat. And of course, we've got Nunnally as well. So I think our right wing position is sorted for at least the next couple of seasons. The striker department, Chan Palat, very happy with him. Although, I'm always on the lookout for other good strikers that are somewhat cheap, like Chan Palat is himself, or was. The only other position I'm really looking at the moment would probably be the defensive midfield position. We might look in January and see if I can set anything up. But yeah, I think that will probably be the goal for next season, if I don't in fact find anything. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.